And now for part two of my thoughts on the Maleficent movie. So, where were we? Yes, Maleficent just put the curse and decided to nerf it, no less, thus robbing one of the fairies' role in the story. And the movie goes along the traditional ways of how it went in the original movie. The king uh, forbidding anybody from using spindles or wheels, having them all destroyed, going so far as to punish anybody by death for using those things, and has the fairies take care of Aurora during her growing up, and in the hopes that she will grow up past the time the curse is supposed to happen, and Maleficent's spell will be broken and thus by being negated. And here we come to another problem. When we see Aurora growing up, we see that Maleficent is constantly watching her from the shadows. And a little outside the outside of how they did in the original story, because in there, Maleficent had no idea where Aurora was, because she sent her minions uh, to find her years ago, but their own incompetence kind of screwed that over, and she had to rely on her Raven to actually get the job done. But but for the sake of this movie, let's just look at it this way: the Maleficent is keeping an eye on the girl, which, if we were just going by that context alone, would be good. She's making sure that nothing happens to this girl until she gets what she wants, which is to see this girl die the way she wanted her to do, to represent her vengeance towards the guy who scorned her. All fine and dandy. But the problem, as we continue to see, is that uh, the fairies are taking. They're not being so much as bad parents in the like assholes way. They're being more negligible, and we see that Maleficent progressively becomes more caring towards the girl, and becomes more of a mother figure to her. Even with Aurora naively calling her fairy godmother. Wow. Just wow. So, the problem is that where in this part, Maleficent is being changed by this girl that she hardly knows, and she's going she's going to change her way. Um, this thus making her go from villain to good guy in one movie. This is not a villain perspective movie. This is a flat out retcon job. As I had to tie back to the Grendel story, which is a book, Grendel, while we did see his perspective and probably him in a more sympathetic way, he still did not change. He still held his grudge against humanity for being the bastard, being more like the bastard child, while these people are being rewarded by God. And he's going to be condemned, and he's going to slaughter all of them, just out of that pure hatred of that whole notion. If that's still in that's still intact, and everything else was just exploration of those motives. Nothing key to the overall story of Beowulf has changed as far as Grendel's part. He still terrorizes the mead hall. Beowulf comes in and rescues everybody from Grendel by killing him. That's still the job. Here, Maleficent, who is supposed to be the villain, who's not supposed to have this character change her, and she's actually being changed for the good. She's actually being warmed up to this character like a mother figure. uh, this takes away from her. She's supposed to be the villain. We don't want to see her change from evil to good. We just want to see her reasoning behind it. Why did she do most of the things? If we could elaborate more, I could even, like I said, I could have even accepted this whole lover revenge thing. Like she was going to. No, I'm going to say that for later when we get back to that. So later on in the movie, Maleficent finds out that, I mean, not Maleficent, Aurora finds out that Maleficent is the one that cursed her, and she wants nothing to do with her. There's they also brought in Prince Philip, who becomes completely insignificant, downright pointless uh, when Aurora gets cursed by the spinning wheel and falls into this death-like sleep. Which, before that happened, Maleficent tried to prevent. Um, wow. Where do I begin? Okay, so we got her acting more like a mother figure and trying to save her, which is counterproductive to her motives of what she's trying to do to this girl and trying to get back at, uh, I believe the king's name was King Stefan. And this um, really loses the impact of the character of this malevolent, devious person just being misunderstood and uh, actually having a kinder heart beneath her her hard exterior and all that jazz. And this also kind of makes her seem mildly incompetent that she did not know the mechanics of her own spell. That the spell cannot be reversed, even by her. At least not in the way she did. I will get back. So, the story tries to do what was traditionally done. Prince Philip trying to kiss Aurora to bring her back up, but it's not the case. It doesn't happen. Then they pull this that perhaps Maleficent is the true love and the true motherly love, and kisses her and brings her back. I heard this was done elsewhere in Frozen. Granted, I have never seen that movie, though I do plan to, because I've heard some pretty good stuff. Now, from what I've gathered from my good friend Ashley65, why some of the things worked in Frozen was because they were playing on the fact that some of this stuff was conventional, and yet they pulled something different and made it interesting that actually worked. Here, this seems more like a move to just do something because it worked in here, and that just makes it lose its impact and creates a bit of a problem there. The biggest problem being that if Maleficent's the one who helps save this girl, what is the point of Prince Philip? He is just going to be the guy who marries this woman? Who gives a shit? Shit. Though he lost his impact on the overall story. He is irrelevant, pointless, insipid, insignificant. Then we cut to the climax where King Stefan tries to kill Maleficent. Uh, she has her bird turn to the dragon. Yes, the bird turns into the dragon, not Maleficent. and uh, Aurora then eventually helps Maleficent by giving her her wings, and she can overpower Stefan, and he ends up dying. And it all ends up with Maleficent naming uh, Aurora Queen of the humans and the fairies and what all that jazz. It's just it's just such a disrespectful mess, such squandered potential. Like I said earlier, this could have worked differently. That yes, if they had stuck to the core storyline instead of trying to deviate from it so significantly. Yes, I could buy into the premise that Maleficent got scorned by this guy and developed a hatred and cruelty towards him and became just all around malevolent and devious. She, um, because her methods are about trying to screw with the people who are trying to save her through love. She, in one scene in the original film, tried to say, "Oh yeah, I'll let you save her," but by the time you do it, you'll be old and weak, and chances are she probably won't be with you. It's actually a backhanded compliment, more or less. And she do, she could have done the same thing. Her motive could have been that she does not believe in true love. She's trying to prove everything that about true love is a lie, and that deep down humanity is cruel, selfish, greedy, and deserves to be punished for their behavior in the most sadistic, uh, callous way. And it went down that road, that would have been more interesting, and that would have probably made Maleficent uh, not only the same interesting character we grew up with, but actually expanded more on her character a bit. But but no, we got this. We got Maleficent being retconned into a misunderstood woman who ends up being turned into a good girl. And yeah, all in all, this movie is not so bad that it's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just mediocre at best. It's kind of sad, really, because they got Paul Dini to write this, and Paul Dini is a great writer. I I don't want to think that this whole mess was his fault. Much like with Ultimate Spider-Man, I feel like this was Disney, or with Ultimate Spider-Man's case, Marvel, trying to interfere with what he was trying to do and trying to tell a good story just so they could do what they want because of some other ideas that work better in other movies. So, if I were to give Maleficent a grade, I give it like a between a 5.5 or a 6. The visuals are great, and Angelina Jolie, when she's actually acting like Maleficent that we all know and love, is well done. And to some extent, she's actually a pretty good actress as the new Maleficent. But this whole thing is just so it's just so underwhelming, such squandered potential. So, but I think I've talked enough about that. I'll catch you guys later.